Mhm. All right, so it's been a while. So welcome to a game from the Adventures Nexus. We'll actually be not moving out to another plane like we usually do. We'll actually be staying within the Nexus because I do want to kind of keep things simple as I get reacquainted with the setting and with everyone else. So for starters, we'll introduce our two PCs, and then we'll introduce the traveling NPC, and then we'll get started. So let's start with Sandra.
Hey, yeah, my name is Sandra, obviously, and I'm here twice because one I need for chat and the other one for my face, apparently. I'm gonna be playing Lily. Lily's she's a tiny sprite, and she's literally a tiny race, and she's an evocation wizard, second level. Likes flying around, is like a lot more mobile with her wings, flying than walking. She's kind of slow on the ground because she's so tiny. She's been on like two adventures, I believe. Yeah, two with Dave before, like the accompanying NPC, and also with Spriggs, who is not here today. But they're kind of roommates. And Lily is she really wants to know a lot of things, and she likes to read up on stuff, and she's really curious. She's more curious than probably for her own good, but she really tries to understand this world that is way too big for her to grasp. But she might insult people, but unwillingly. So she just flies around and kind of lives in Dave's satchel. That's it.
All right, and Brendan.
Brendan, I'll be playing Throac. Oh wait, no, sorry. I'm playing Leoris.
No.
He's a warlock. He was a acolyte in a school of wizardry, but because he was a wood elf and everyone else there were high elves, he had no friends. He was bullied relentlessly, and basically he was kind of a coward, kind of young, and was kind of taken advantage of by a fiend. And so he's now, the fiend gave him some power and told him that if he wanted more, all he had to do was go to the Nexus. And so he did. And now he's just kind of wandering around, picking up jobs and trying to figure out how to make money and find bitches.
All right, so you had your training in your world, but coming here, you've had to go through basic adventurers training, which would essentially fill in any skills that you'd be missing from your backgrounds or any abilities that you just really can't explain off, as well as give you your adventurer's uh, basically emblem to show that you're a trainee in the guild. And as such, as being a new trainee, you would be working with higher level veterans that will be taking you on their next mission, which just so happened to be this small pixie that you've heard new rumors about, and a human called Dave the Fairy, who you're not really sure why he has garnered that attention, but probably because you've heard that he keeps major company with two sprites, might have deserved him that name.
Fair enough.
People don't make fun of him because the last person who made fun of him got the shit kicked out of him. So nobody makes fun of him, at least to his face.
Is his room clean now?
You guys are still cleaning up some of the scratch marks. A local kind of maintenance wizard has another apprentice trainee that is still going through their training. They're like, yep, just don't ask any questions, just mend the floor. So there is a poor apprentice who is spending probably incredibly large amounts of time mending the scratches that Spriggs has made.
So, Brendan, what happened is like Dave decided to give us like caffeine and sugar.
Because they had never
Yeah,
had coffee before.
I could see that that might be a bad thing for a couple
And
sprites.
And Spriggs is a freaking druid, so she turned into a panther. And she freaking went crazy in this room. And she like pawed on my character, like on Lily, and she knocked her unconscious. And Lily like took ink because Lily took ink because she's a wizard, right? And she's got like a lot of ink, so she put that up and like flew like in circles and sprinkled like the whole ceiling in ink and all.
You're saying
this room looks
caffeine
like horrible.
is crack. It's like
Yes.
Sprite meth.
It is incredible. Like Spriggs didn't like the coffee or the chocolate. Now yeah, it was chocolate. She just ate like the sugar pure. And then we went apeshit.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So, Sergeant, I think his name is Copper Kettle. He'll approach Dave and Lily, and he says, "I got a mission for you. You've been requested by one of the counselors of the Merchants Guild."
Oh, really? What are we gonna do? Can we go, Dave? Please?
The mission itself is rather vague, and I'm not allowed to speak of the details here. You're to meet with the counselor at his manor.
Dave?
Yeah?
Can we go, please, on this mission? I mean, the room is going to be clean soon, and I'm really sorry about that, but I really want to go and see some more. Can we go, please?
Copper Kettle just looks side to side. He says, "You're being assigned this. There's no choice."
Well, we'll go on this mission then. Well, I knew that. Let's get our things and go, I guess. Do you have your satchel?
Before you go, he gives you basically the address for the place. It's at the fifth wall. There's a apartment that you have to go to. He says you have to put in some numbers into the door nearby, but once you do, you should head to the manor pretty much immediately.
That sounds like something we can do. And do you think, Dave, that afterwards we can go into this door that was locked in the dungeon? And she like flies on his shoulder and sits down.
Copper Kettle shakes his head. He says, "There's a time for that, but that time will be the next part of your training. When we increase your rank."
That is so disappointing, but I guess we'll do that. Let's go figure out what it is with those numbers in the fifth door somewhere. We should ask Spriggs if she wants to come with us.
He says, considering last night's incident, Spriggs is going to be quite occupied.
She gonna be fine though.
We won't do anything to her, and she'll still be a member. She might get scolded a bit for her improper behavior.
Oh. Oh well. Well, okay, I guess we'll see her later then. It's not like something dangerous could happen, right?
Well, not really, no. Last thing, he gives you a letter of introduction. He says you'll be speaking to a wood elf named Leoris. He is he's pacted with the fiends, so do keep that in mind. He's a rookie here, so be sure you show him the ropes, and make sure he his training doesn't go to waste.
What ropes am I supposed to show him? I can't even carry a rope.
He shakes his head, and Dave says it's a saying. It's a metaphor.
Well, what does it mean?
It means to show him how it's done, how we do our work.
Oh, okay, but I don't think he's gonna fit in your satchel, Dave.
The sergeant
Does he
just
have
shakes and
wings
says,
too?
Sergeant says, I don't know how you do it. It gives you basically the instructions and how to get to the manor. Gives you the letter, and he says, "No, get going." And he leaves. He has his own office that he goes to.
Well, Lily just flies, like sits on his shoulder, and slaps like twice on his like shoulder pad, like, all right, Dave, let's go.
You don't need to tell me twice. And Dave,
Yeah, I wasn't going to.
you already have.
Oh. Okay, let's go.
That's 3 times now.
Why are we not going?
So you guys head to the lobby room where basically the trainees spend most of their time because they don't have rooms in the guild. They are sent to an inn nearby to see if they are successful in their training. And when you arrive there, Laris, you'll see this fairy sprite sitting on top of a human male wearing half-plate armor and carrying a fairly large arsenal of weapons. They'll approach you, and he says, are you the wood elf that we're looking for? Leoris?
Yes, that's me. I'm the wood elf, Leoris. Quite powerful, quite intimidating. Yes.
And quite tall. Do you have wings?
No wings. I am wingless, as most wood elves are.
Oh,
unwinged.
All right. So you're like this guy from the bar that we met, right? Is that the one, Dave? Is that the same? No. Like from the same kind. I mean, I can't really tell them apart just yet.
No. The guy I beat
The bartender was an elf.
Oh, yeah, the bartender was. You need to tell me who you're talking about, because there's a lot of people.
Well, the bartender that showed us where like the issue was with like the rats in the basement.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a wood elf.
Oh, so you're the same. So you don't grow wings and you look a little bit mean sometimes when I ask too much questions. Many. My name is Lily. Nice to meet you. And she flies over and gives you like her hand.
Lily? I try not to break her hand between my fingers and shake her.
Oh, wow. That's a firm grip.
Sorry, I don't want what the hell do he's gonna look at Dave like, what the hell am I, what is this?
He just says, it's a sprite from another plane of existence called Shanus.
Is she your familiar?
No.
Excuse you?
I'm not.
Sorry, what? I am not a pet.
I'm not a pet, a familiar, a associate, an assistant, maybe.
I know what a familiar is, and I am not a familiar. I'm not an associate. I'm not a pet. I am Lily, and I can do things on my own because I'm really well trained and I read a lot.
Dave, while she's ranting, is covering his one ear.
Right. kind of what familiars are? Like,
No,
everything you've
not at all.
explained,
No, I'm not.
all the
I'm
things
not
that
a.
familiars.
No, I am an independent, very self-sustainable adventurer, and I can do a lot of things on my own. And I did already with Dave and Spriggs, and I'm still learning about this world. But I'm not a familiar. Are you a familiar? You look like a familiar.
Well, I've never heard of someone who has a wood elf familiar.
Well, do you
It's
want to be my wood elf familiar?
Can you speak to me telepathically?
No.
Then I don't think that how
But
familiars
Dave
work.
can't do that either. I can't do that with Dave either.
I don't know that. How would I know if you could? That's why I was asking.
I'm not a familiar.
I'm just okay, Dave.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do? Maybe I'm getting off on the wrong foot here. I don't.
Okay. So.
He's kind of exasperating.
Okay. You know those big gateways that you came in here through? It's literally the only way to get to this place. So. She is from another gateway to a plane called Janus, and she is a denizen from there. Sprites and some other elemental creatures live there. Not as we understand them from our worlds. So she is...
Got it. Not dependent upon others. Fair enough. Lily? Sorry, my understanding of sprites is that they are dependent on others more than you appear to.
I wouldn't say it's dependent. It's more like open to company who knows more about the world.
Still not making your case that you're.
Well, I think my case is pretty clear. And where are you from? What are you? You're like the bartender. Are you a bartender?
I could tend bar. I probably wouldn't be very good at it, but I suppose I could. I'm not. Doesn't seem like a really complicated job.
I don't know. All this guy did was tell us information about rats in his basement, and he was probably instructed to like deal with the adventurers. But other than that, he just put like drinks in glasses. So it seemed pretty simple. If you want to do that, I'm pretty sure you can.
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but the longer we stand here, the more complicated our job's going to get.
Fair enough. I'm now wondering if I just applied to become a bartender. I thought I was going to be an adventurer, but now being a bartender doesn't sound like a bad job. Like, I can stand behind a bar and hand people drinks and tell people about rats in my basement. I can do that. That's totally a job I could do.
So, you are going through the Adventurous Nexus. So the inner circle is where this huge plaza is. It's basically filled with taverns and restaurants and shops and stands. That's basically meant for the large, like, common races that you see in civilizations. Orcs, like half-orcs, Goliaths, humans, elves, dwarves. They basically all belong in this huge inner circle. And this inner circle is actually quite large. It houses a giant tree in it for an inn for fairies and fae and other outlandish creatures. And it's basically a staging point for non-monstrous creatures to kind of develop a relationship with the monstrous creatures that help run this place. As you get to the second circle, you start realizing, there's ogres and giants walking around, and others. And this you start realizing there's this clean water sewer system that seems to be attracting intelligent aquatic life. And the further away from the wall you get, the more monstrous things get. You start noticing beholders just floating around, mind flayers walking around, dragons just kind of carousing. And you get to the...
Leoris has an obvious bravery issue. He is like anything that is obviously more powerful than him or at all dangerous looking. He will shy away from and kind of put Dave between himself and that being until there's something more dangerous on the other side. And then he's pretty jumpy and obviously kind of cowardly.
So you're kind of trying to do this, and there's just no way to really hide from the crowd. And eventually you kind of just are stuck. So you're just kind of standing in this open space. Dave kind of just comes back through, and he's like, God, it's not you two. He just takes your hand and starts pulling you through the crowd.
Can I fly like closer to them and investigate them?
Okay, so you fly over to, let's say a mind flayer, and he speaks to you, but you can't understand deep speech. So he just kind of seems to be bubbling and moving his tendrils towards you.
That's really weird. It's really new creature. I can't understand what you're saying, but you look really odd, but interesting. Man, I wonder what happened if you lived where I come from. It's so weird.
You'll just say in your head, I would probably have a feast of minds so great and vast that I would become infinitely powerful.
I don't know how you just did that, and that's a little scary, but there's not a lot of really bright minds where I come from because it's mainly nature that wants to kill you. So I don't think your plan will work out, but I thank you for this nice conversation, and I hope you have a great day.
Yes, you too, lesser creature.
Whatever, bye.
And you guys split up and go your separate ways.
I just fly around, like fly close to the dragon and like get like an eye of the creatures so that I can recognize them in the future.
And eventually you get to the fifth ring, where it's this kind of awkward coalition of monstrous workers working with mages and other casters. You can see like a large dragon holding up a mage near one of the gigantic iron golems, staying beside these massive archways that everyone in this city knows is huge, massive portals for them to get through and around. Following the instructions of the letter, you arrive at what seems to be simple part of the wall that just has a door. The door itself is very extravagant. It seems to have gold trimmings, and the door handle is exquisite. You go up to the door, and Dave looks at the letter. He takes the knocker, which is basically held by a dragon's mouth, and he knocks on the door, and the dragon looks over to him, and he says, "Speak the numbers you wish to visit." And he'll say 35, and then the door will swing open on its own. He looks to Leoris and Lily and says, "You two ready?"
I'm not really sure. Ready for what?
So you just say the numbers and you can just go someplace?
Yeah, the door opens up and you just see this other portal on the inside. So it's like a door. There's no empty space. It's just this kind of wall of swirling purple and red.
So, like, that's it? You just knock and you go someplace else?
He says, I guess I'm not much of a wizard myself.
Well, I am a wizard, and I don't know this concept either.
Well, you can roll me Arcana.
Maybe I do. We'll see about that. 19.
That will actually be enough. So, looking at the doorway, you notice some glyphs along the inside of the door, and you recognize the glyphs as basically a permanent dimension door. The glyphs, some glyphs are highlighted, some glyphs are not. The highlighted ones seem to indicate digits of draconic numeral numbers, and certain ones that are highlighted, like this one, for example, just the two are highlighted for 35. They seem to be codes to teleport you to other doors, like this one.
Well, I actually do know what this is. I mean, I know how it works, but I don't know why would anyone put this here, other than like traveling fast from one place to another. This is like a little bit advanced magic. I can't do that just yet, but it looks safe. We can just go through. Dave, you got this. And she like sits on his shoulder pad again.
All right.
That is crazy. Like, that's a lot of power to get something. That's Dimension Door, you said? That's a big spell. And like keep it there? Wow.
I didn't say that. Busted.
Case closed.
No, he was he's an acolyte. He that was what he did, is he researched, and he's heard Dimension Door. It's just so far above what he can do.
Yeah.
That's good.
Anyway, sorry. Yes, going through.
So Dave goes in first, and actually he touches the portal, and he actually just kind of poofs into smoke. And
do I
he's
fall
just
on
gone.
the ground?
Yeah, you just, unless you
like I catch myself, duh.
Yeah, so he poofs into smoke, and you're just left fluttering in the air.
Huh? Dave, what happened? This is not how this is supposed to work, right? Oh God, I hope he's not
Dave's
dead.
Oh, Dave's dead. Oh, damn it.
Well,
what the hell do we do now?
How about you go next?
No.
Okay, let's do
Dave
the
just
following
died.
thing.
There's no way.
No, I don't think Dave died. I think he just took a little break from here and went somewhere else. So I think that
break from here. Break from freaking life.
No, listen to me. Give me your hand, and we'll just do this together, because he put in his finger, and then that happened. So we'll do that at the same time. No, he's probably somewhere else. You know, like how he can teleport from one place to another. I think this is what happened.
You hear a draconic voice on the side of the door. You hear him. Just step through to get to the room already. I don't have an eternity.
Technically, you do. You're a door.
Until I mold and fall off the hinges.
That shouldn't happen. You're magical, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So you can't mold, can you?
Yes, I can.
That is such weird magic.
Just go through the door.
All right, Larry.
All right, so
grab my hand, and we'll do this together on 3.
1,
2.
2.
Do it.
2.5.
No, now, 3. And she pushes him. She pushes him into that thing, like his finger. 3.
So, yeah, that's all it takes. You just kind of your finger. Well, since you have to hold it, your finger and her hands kind of touch the thing, and you both turned into vapor.
2.5. 2.25.
2 3/4. 2 7/8. 2 15/16.
Okay, I'm done. Sorry, you can go.
You guys
No, it's
appear
okay.
in this. You guys appear in this open room. Dave is standing on the other side, and he's looking around. You see, this manor is actually very nice and is populated with a lot of vegetation. You can actually hear the sounds of a jungle just outside through the windows. And the main balcony is opened up. There's in the middle of the room, like there's a very fancy carpet, hanging plants, and you do actually see just a tiger walking around. Though the tiger is disinterested in actually talking to any of you.
So Lily's casting dancing lights, and it has like 4 like lights, like different colored lights, dancing like around layers, and as she's like swirling around him, flying around him. See, I told you it wasn't that bad, and we're still alive. Otherwise, that means that death looks really, really pretty.
Almost died there. Just give me a second. Just.
Okay, breathe. You want to breathe?
I'm just
do it. Breathe.
There to make sure that you could get through that, because I know it was really scary for you, but I'm just glad we could get through that. I'm just glad I got you through it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. I'm not going to tell anybody that you were scared.
What? Me? I wasn't scared. I had to push your fingers through that.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's cool. I won't tell anybody at all that you were terrified. It's okay. Come on. Here, I'm glad I was there to hold your hand through that. Let's just go ahead and come on, Dave. Let's figure out what we're going to next.
The tiger sits down in front of you.
I wasn't scared.
The tiger then says, "Are you done with the simplicity of dimensional magic?"
I'm sorry, tiger, but we have an issue here.
I am, in fact, not a tiger.
Excuse me then, but we still have an issue. I did not. Deception? You're rolling. So I roll insight against that.
Yep. Insight versus that 11 deception. I'm trying to convince you that you were in fact scared, and I was brave. And I would say you have advantage on that.
No, she failed.
I have advantage on that? I have advantage on that?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it. You know it was a minute ago.
8.
With advantage?
Yep.
Yep.
Fucking hate you, Brendan.
I actually am not proficient in deception. I figured that was an easy pass for you.
I have a +2 in insight, and I rolled a 3 and a 6. Advantage is not going to help me.
Nice. So in that case, I've convinced you that you were afraid. I saved you.
Well, thank you. That was yeah, I guess I was a little scared.
It's okay. It's all right. We just won't talk about it anymore, okay?
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
The tiger starts growing impatient, and he says, "Are you two done with your child's play? I have business to attend to."
To business.
To business.
He says yes. And he will get up on all four legs. He will walk over to a desk that's kind of backed against the wall. He'll walk over to it and he'll ring a bell as he stands up on his hind legs. And some clothes will appear on him, and he looks like a very majestic noble.
Is this a Rakasha? Did we just interrupt the Rakasha when he was naked?
There wasn't much of an introduction.
Is this a druid?
I was saying interrupting.
He says, "No, I was waiting for you. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to put on any clothes. But you guys don't seem to be too distracted with yourselves."
That is odd. Why would you not want to put on clothes? Is this something that you do?
No. I just felt I didn't need to.
I'm just there, not how I roll, bud. I don't have a problem with it. It's okay. However you do your thing, but that's just not, it's not who I am. It's just, be you. That's cool. I just don't, it's not something I, am down with. I don't, I just don't, it's not me. It's not who I am. But you can do you do your thing.
Are you a druid like Spriggs is? Because she can turn into things too.
No, I'm not.
So you're just a talking tiger?
That is an incredible insult.
I think he's a Rakasha.
I don't know what a Rakasha is.
They're really powerful and pretty scary. You kind of look over at the
Can I touch your fur?
To say the least.
No, you may not.
That's.
Well, then what is it that you want us to do? Why did we come here?
He says, some human business owner has made his way into the Adventurers Nexus, and I don't believe the substances he's selling is, in fact, what he says they are. Many of the other chancellors believe that this is the case as well. And we believe that he is, in fact, bringing drugs, very basic and very harmful drugs, into our grand city. And many of us have agreed that he is worth investigating. Now, of course, the laws would dictate otherwise, that we should have reasonable cause. But since we pretty much run the place, and we've decided that this is deemed worthy of investigation, we've hired you three to make sure that the job is adequately done, and to perhaps grab a sample of his product so that we may investigate it. We have a very thorough process to ensure that the drugs that come in here may provide harmful effects, but aren't long-lasting to cause addiction. They are purely recreational.
I guess that makes sense. Can I touch your fur after we've done this, if we're successful?
If you ask me again, you will soon find out how it feels to be mauled by a tiger.
I actually kind of had that experience already, but with a panther, and it was Spriggs.
I will assure you that it will be not the same experience.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to learn stuff.
As I said before, I am a very busy Rakshasa, and I would like to continue my business sometime soon.
What is that called again?
He will pull open a desk. No.
I don't know what that is. Like, legitimately, I don't know.
Oh.
Rakshasa.
Give me a second. I'm looking it up so I can give you a page. 257 in the monster manual.
Okay. Okay.
They're stupid powerful.
Yeah, they're actually they're evil outsiders, but I don't think they're considered demons.
I thought they were closer to gems.
They're fiends.
Oh yeah, I know they're fiends, but I think they're closer to devils than they are.
Yeah, because they're lawful evil.
Well, in that case, Lily feels a little bit threatened, and she flies over into Dave's statue. Whoop. And the dancing light disappears around Lyars.
He pulls open a drawer from his desk and he pulls out a letter. He hands it to Dave, and he says, "This is the address within the inner circle. If any of the guards try to stop you, just show them the letter. The wax seal on the front should provide ample proof of your business. Within the letter is context for your business if the guards insist that they review the letter. Effectively, it is a warrant." He says, "Are any of you capable of detecting secret passages, dealing with traps, or opening locks?"
Wow, I'm pretty good at finding traps. I've done this before in this basement. You hear that coming out of the satchel, like she's talking, but it's like really, it's not really loud because she's talking inside the satchel. I've done this before, Dave. So, I mean, I can find some things. I think I have a pretty keen eye, but I mean, I can also try to pick like some logs because most of the logs I can really look into.
I'm fairly good at seeing things and investigating things, but not magically finding traps or paths or things like that.
He says, "Well then, I will provide you with some useful tools." He will go over to his desk. He'll open up another drawer, and he'll pull out this little bag, and he'll walk over to you, and he will. You can hear it ringing inside, and you'll put it Leoris's hand. So you open it up, and there's 3 bells inside, little tiny bells that you ring with this. One is square with yellow symbols on it, yellow gems. The other is a triangle bell with blue gems on it, and the other is a circular bell with red gems on it. He says the square one is for identifying secret passages. He says the blue one is for finding traps.
Thank you. Sorry, I was trying to write it down. And go ahead.
Beat you to it.
The red one.
Thank you.
Is for opening locked doors. Now, just to clarify, the blue one will also find and disarm the traps, but it won't help you. But they will reset after a time. So, if you do encounter any traps, be sure that you either jam them so that they don't come loose and reset, or do your business quickly.
How many times can we ring them?
He says each one can function 3 times a day. finally a question that you ask that is actually useful.
I mean,
He will then pet you with the soft side of his claw.
I'm in the satchel.
He will reach into the satchel and pet you with his claw. Dave's a little startled, but he doesn't want to die, so he lets it happen.
Just relax. Let it happen.
Well, I'm glad that you are with me because I was already afraid. Apparently, it was a story I can't even remember, but well, at least I'm not alone in this.
Remember, we weren't going to talk about that. It's okay. It's okay. Fear does that to people. It's totally normal.
He says, now, unless there's anything else that we need to discuss.
No.
Just why don't you just buy the stuff and investigate it? Wouldn't that be the easy way to do it?
He said, sorry, what was the first part of what you said?
What? Just buy whatever the material is and investigate it that way.
He says, well, unfortunately, as you may have realized when you come to this place, there's a lot of planes that connect to this place. I could gather a substance that could be similar to whatever he's selling, but it will never be precisely the same. And simply duplicating the effects would not do anything. It would just mean that I had the materials available to replicate the same issues that he did.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
He looks over to Dave, and Dave just shrugs. He's like, no, I'm good to go. And he says, Sprightling.
Onward bravely.
What?
Do you have any questions?
No.
Good. He will then open a portal by pressing a triangular sigil on a wooden panel nearby him, which is more of a pillar. And the purple vortex appears behind you, except it's just on the floor. He says, just step on it, and it will send you back to the Adventurer's Nexus. The store that you are going to go inside of is called the Golden Brick. It is in the inner circle, so you will not be drawing the attention of other monstrous shop owners.
Sounds fancy.
I believe it is unfortunately not as quite up to par as we're used to.
Okay. All right, Lily. So, do you need me to hold your hand before we go through this one too?
No, I'm in the satchel. Dave, you got this.
Right.
I don't want to see when this happens.
Now
So
I've convinced her to be afraid of the portals.
So he just shrugs. He's like, oh, might as well get used to it. And he steps through. As soon as his foot touches the purple substance on the floor, he just poofs into smoke. So you're just standing there with the Rakshasa.
So he's going to look back at the Rakshasa and say, how's this orient? If I jump through, will I land on my feet or will I land on my back or face? I don't.
He says, you're an adventurer. You'll find it one way or the other.
Am I still there? Like, or did I poof with a satchel?
You're in the satchel. You poofed with them. The magic is specific, but if you're being carried by somebody else, it's not that specific.
That's what you get.
So Leoris is now trying to figure out if he's more afraid of screw it. He's just going to jump through, just both feet, and hope that he doesn't hurt himself.
So you jump through, and he just looks at his claws as he's looking over his nails. He says, I could have used some bones to sharpen my nails. And then I'll go
Some
back
what?
to the day.
What did he say?
He was definitely
He
What did he
said,
say?
was definitely more afraid of staying with the Rakasha than he was falling on his ass.
Well, what did he say? Could have used what?
some bones to sharpen my nails.
Yeah.
So you jump through, and since you kind of soldier jumped, you kind of land really hard on your feet. And you kind of bump into Dave's back, and he's like, hey, watch it.
Sorry. Just making sure I just, in case there were enemies, I just plow through into them and, just... Yeah, let's go ahead and go.
Dave, is it over yet?
Says, sure.
Okay.
Why don't you just peek your head out and check?
And she does that. Like, yeah, like several holes in the satchel for us to look out. So she like looks over.
Well, there's a
the satchel.
gigantic hole now because there's a Rakshasa just stuck his fucking claw in there.
Well, that's rude. We didn't ask for another window. She like peeks out. And once she determines that everything seems to be all right, she flies out and has like those dancing lights around her again.
So you guys head back to the inner circle. The giant creatures are very aware of your presence, and they avoid stepping on you.
Well, that's nice.
The Dave kind of offhand mentions, like, if this is what a sprite feels like, I would hate to be a sprite looking up at these things.
Yeah, this is what you like look like to me, Dave. Maybe not as ugly, but size-wise, I guess.
I don't know how to take that.
I don't know. Was that a compliment? I guess that was a compliment, but it is still really intimidating. You're so big.
So you guys head to the Golden Door. It actually, considering the rest of the environment, which is nice stone buildings, good mason work, this building is new, and it actually kind of looks a little old, or at least worn. The wood has seems to be have a lot of scratch marks and stuff on it, and it seems to be wet. Just looking at it, it looks like it has a little bit of mold on the outside. You get to the door, and it's kind of just this old, stagnant door. Has a stale smell to it. There isn't even a knocker on it. It's just a door handle with like a padlock on the door.
Well, that's easy. Can we not just see if we can open it? Or like open it with like, what was that? The red bell.
Do you think we should use that already? I mean, it might just be unlocked.
I mean, it's a padlock and it's like locked around this thing. So I guess it's locked.
I mean, let's I mean, we can knock. Let's see if maybe somebody's there that sells us stuff.
All right. So Dave knocks on the door. Knocks again. Knocks another time. No answer.
I told you it was locked.
Dave says, I was just seeing if
Fair
there's
enough.
anyone there.
Yep, I told you so.
So as you guys are knocking, a large gold dragon lands beside you, and he says, oh, what are you humans up to? Oh, sorry. Humans. Human, elf, and... Wait. Sprite?
Yep.
Is there a sprite in there? And he
Yep.
kind of shoves his nose towards the satchel.
Oh, she flies out and sits on his nose. She's like, yeah, that's me.
Ah, yes. Such a friendly scent.
Who are you?
Oh, I am the guardian of this place. Well, guardian is a little excessive, but I am one of the few guards that watches over the Adventurers Nexus.
Oh, that's so good to know. I'm so glad that you are there and that people watch over the Adventurers Nexus because things can get really, really dangerous. So that's really good to know. My name is Lily.
It says, welcome, Lily. And welcome, Leoris?
Oh, how did you know his
How
name?
the hell do you know my name?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's hard to forget a fresh wood elf.
You have a name tag right here from the Adventurers Nexus, and it says it.
Well, I pay attention to all the new rookies.
And
Some of
Leoris
them-
is currently thinking that he's being sized for a chicken fried steak dinner or a chicken fried elf dinner.
He says, now I have to warn you, what you're doing is particularly suspicious. And Dave's like, I have this warrant. And he just shows it, and the dragon says, oh, I understand. You'll have no trouble from me or the other guard.
Lily lies down on his snout and starts like stroking him. Oh my god, your scales. This is so incredible.
He says, I take good care of them, but be careful. I do have a tendency to get itchy and sneeze.
Oh, I'm sorry. She continues carefully.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, the dragon looks at him at the door, and he says, well, the homeowners aren't home, so he just scratches at the door and breaks the lock. And he says, I didn't really like this building anyways. It smells like
Please
mold.
don't burn it down while we're inside.
And he says, I says, even if I wanted to, I couldn't. All the buildings are protected by magical wards. Sure, I could damage it, but the adventurers, the city itself would protect the building from collapsing.
Do you have a name?
He says, the people around here just call me the teacher. I'm the nice guard. I'm the one that everyone likes to see first.
That's a different name, but I can remember that. Well, I hope I am be able to talk to you later on, but I think we have to go through the door that you just broke open for us.
He says, just be careful. I am usually awake, but the times I'm not, you will most likely meet the other guard who will be more available to murdering you in public.
She like walks all
Who's
the
the
way
other
out
guard?
to his snout.
He is a four-armed fiend. He is supposed to be the executioner of sorts.
Well, that doesn't sound as pretty as you are. And she walks up like his snout to like in the middle of his eyes.
He says, yes, he is by far one of the meanest creatures I've had the pleasure of encountering. However,
Wow.
I do have to work with fellow, and when people are
Can you be
being,
quiet?
he says, when people are not being compliant, I am forced to summon him. I think he is the only one in the city that has permission to cause destruction and murder without consequence.
But why would he murder us? Like, if we did something, would he just like I don't know what we were like? What does somebody have to do to be actually be murdered by the four-armed winged fiend?
He says, well, unfortunately, that's just the way the chancellors decided that is how it's going to work. They wanted at least one entity that was capable of breaking the city's rules. And of course, the city doesn't protect itself from it, but they will protect the city from him. It's a very secure circle.
Yeah, I see. Thank you so much for your time and your wisdom, teacher.
No problem.
Actually, like
But
flies
do be
off his face.
careful. But do be careful. I will be sitting here, and if I discover any stolen property besides what was on that warrant, I will be forced to discuss it.
Oh, we're not gonna be stealing anything.
He says, well, the warrant does allow you to procure a particular drug that you're searching for.
I
I
haven't
won't.
read through that, but still, yeah, we will not take anything else. Unless you want something from in there, then we can get that for you too. Because you
He
said you didn't like the building.
he thinks about it, and he says, now, if there was potentially dangerous weapons in there or other volatile concoctions, you could bring those out for me, and that would be enough for the chancellors to do a full investigation. But that's another thing.
Okay, so if we find anything that would fall in this category, then is there any way that we can check in with you, or should we just bring all the stuff out there if we find that?
He looks from side to side and he says, no, if you find it, just bring proof. If you have to bring it out, then by all means, bring it out. But the stores are obligated to have writings on all their alchemic properties.
All right. Thank you so much. And she like pats his nose and then flies off back to Dave's shoulder pad.
Oh, and one more thing. If the situation does arise that there is a substance in there that is both unknown and doesn't have any formal writing on it, be sure to alert me. You can take those substances as well, as long as you're doing the investigation of this.
Fair enough.
But please continue. And Dave will open the door now that the lock is busted. And you guys go inside.
I really like this teacher dragon. He's so pretty and he knows so much.
And you guys go inside, and it looks like a typical general store. There's no. It's a pretty dark place. There's no lighting in here. All the windows are closed with these wooden shaders, and there is a balcony, or not balcony, but like a counter in the back, and then there's extending past it about 10 feet is just a bunch of shelves with some various items on there. But considering the size of the building, this is a little smaller than what you'd expect. And I'm actually going to call for a break so I can go eat think about this. All right.
Okay.
So I'll probably be back in like 15 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So yeah, grab snacks, grab something to eat. We'll be back soon.
Okay.
So, Brendan,
Yeah.
how do you like Lily?
I was just saying I need to grab Trista. I think I'm gonna remake Trista as like a high elf. Maybe, I don't know. Someone similar to Trista.
Yeah,
Because
Hmm?
I liked playing off of you, especially with that kind of character. It's fucking hilarious.
She's so much fun. I love Lily. She's like, okay, when someone says it's not time to cross that bridge yet, or let's not cross that bridge. What bridge? There is no bridge. Like,
There's no bridge. I don't see a bridge.
and I can't believe you fucking convinced me that I'm scared of this now. Like that I was scared, and now she's like legitimately like she's like I'd rather not. I remember last time wasn't that great, so she has like a 20 in intelligence. She's like fucking smart as shit. But the issue is with her, she doesn't know a lot of stuff. She's not very wise. So the world that she's coming from, Shanus, is basically a very hostile environment and very, very unforgiving, harsh environment where basically just elementals live. Elementals and sprites and dryads are all the races that live basically in this world. And well, living conditions are really, really harsh. So she hasn't seen many animals yet. She hasn't seen like a lot of elves yet. Like the only elf she's seen before was like a bartender that she had actually contact with, which is why she asked if you were a bartender. Because, I mean,
Right.
she doesn't know this stuff. So she's not stupid. You know what I mean? She just doesn't know that
Yeah.
yet. She's like a kid, basically, you know? Like a smart,
Unworldly, yeah.
yeah, very, very outlanderish. And she's not trying, like, she's asking questions like, can I touch you, please, legitimately, because she wants to know, you know, like how kids want to touch, not to be rude, but to, like, get the experience out of it, you
Just
know?
explore. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why she's not afraid at all. She's, like, fucking the bravest thing ever, but not when it comes to portals, apparently, because now she's fucking afraid.
And I thought for sure because I rolled an 8, and he's not trained in deception. He's only got a +3 in it, and I was like 11, no problem, she'll beat that. And I was like, fuck it, you know, you just went through it, you would know. Nope, apparently not.
No, even with advantage.
Apparently he was convincing enough.
I'm like, nope. I guess I'm afraid now. That's fine.
I'm terrified of portals. That makes sense. That's a thing now.
Yeah, definitely. Like, well, but I really like playing her, and I hope I'm not annoying you too much with her. But I really like.
No, you're fine.
I really like to give the flair to because she's always like up and about, and she flies like she's like. I imagine her like Tinkerbell from Peter Pan, like making also this whirring sound with her wings, and like has like this little bell tingling sound to her, you know.
Yeah.
So that's how I
Yeah,
imagine her.
I see Leoris as, you know, the Cowardly Lion, but on fucking steroids, because, you know, the Cowardly Lion was a powerful being. This kid is not. He's a young wood elf, and he's just terrified. He's gotten, you know, he's been beaten up and bullied and all of that, and he's been beaten down by life early, and he was just doing anything just to get some power. He wasn't, you know, he's intelligent enough that he could be a wizard. He's got a 15 intelligence, but he's not, you know, not top of his class. He's you know, on the lower end as far as wizards go. And so, you know, he found a book, had some charisma, became a warlock.
What is What is this fiend pact with? Like with who? With just a fiend, or do you
Hold on.
have a name, or
I have a
you know, I've
name.
never
I
played a
actually
warlock, so I don't know a lot about how they work.
they're so level 1 warlocks suck. For a caster, you get light armor, but I mean that's really about it. They get 1 spell slot per short rest. They get 2 cantrips. They get very, very little. And they really come online at like level 3, because at level 3 they get 2
The
second
pact
level
stuff.
spells. Yeah. So you have invocations that gives you a couple more little spells that you can cast, and then are you picking your face?
No, I have like something here. See that? It's like irritated, and I wanted to see if that is visible. Stop!
Do I have
Stop!
to tweeze?
Stop! Stop, Brennan. You didn't have to turn on the camera for that.
I know. Come say hi.
Ah, say hi. Say hi to me. Hi, how are you?
Scoot over.
Hi. How are you?
Say hi, Sandra.
I'm Sandra.
How are you? Can they hear
How are
me?
you?
How are you?
Yeah, they can hear you.
I'm good. How are you? What's your names? I said the dog.
Earnin.
Yeah, it's the dog poking his head in. This is Earnan. This is my
Earnan?
guinea. And this is Cormac, who's decided to be shy now.
Oh, Conrad, come back. Yeah,
That's
I
enough,
also.
Tess. What are you doing?
Just wanted to come down.
Well, Pax is still outside. Go out and play with Pax.
Here, look at Poppy.
Okay, so go inside. Go up and drink.
Poppy.
Over
Here.
Oh,
Look at my pupper. Look at my pupper. Come here, Poppy. Come here. Come here, Poppy. Come here. Puppy, you're so fucking heavy. Hmm? Here, say hello, Poppy.
Hi. Who's a good dog? Who's a good dog?
You're a good dog, Poppy. Hmm?
Come here, Bubba. Come here. Come around the other way, please.
Here. Say hello.
What's Paxi doing?
I don't know.
Poppy.
Okay, go get your drink. Hurry up. Get that side. Oh, who the good boy.
Poppy. And my other dog is trying to climb up the bench too. I have to put her down again because otherwise my lip is on there too. Loki. God dang it. But yeah, I tried out like the sprites are a race that Alex made in his homebrew, like one of his homebrew races.
Right.
And this is my 3rd time playing her, and I really like her. I really like how so inexperienced, like how inexperienced she is. That's really fun to play, and she's got an ability where she can blind everyone and like around her. That's really cool, like a flashbang.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, I was originally going to play this guy as a half elf, but he actually works as a wood elf too.
Why did you go for wood elf?
Well, I mean, when you think wood elves, you don't exactly think really intelligent. So, how would somebody who, at a 15 intelligence, that puts them a little higher on the intel scale, and really, relatively high. So, halfway to genius.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you were in a community, that would be like the smartest kid in the in the community. So that's somebody you would send off to college. Just because you're the smartest guy in a, like big fish, little fish in a big pond, that kind of thing. He was smart in his community, but, when you get up into, college level, you're really, you were smart. You were the smartest guy in your school, but
well, yeah, you forget that in your
middle.
school, everyone else was a retard. So
Right, you're like, sorry, everybody else in your school's dumb.
you're the smartest retard.
He got there, and just nothing ever really turned out for him. So he took the easy way out.
Yeah, and I'm definitely
I like the warlocks. I think they're fun. I might throw a sorcerer in there too. I don't know. I haven't decided. I like warlock. Yeah, just throw a couple levels of sorcerer in there.
I definitely after this game, she's going to be a proper evocation wizard, which is really, really cool. This tiny sprite just dishing out major damage.
Yeah. Evocation wizards are powerful. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Sorry, the little one's playing in the rock wall. Ooh.
Man, yesterday was crazy. Alex left the UAG, Matt left the UAG, I left the UAG, Chapel left the UAG. And did you see, was there more drama? Oh,
no.
Wow, we're live. Well, whatever. Fuck it.
Yeah.
This is not UAG.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I just I just clicked into it now. Normally people are just chatting on there about, hey, how you doing? What's today? What are you guys doing today? Blah blah blah.
But all the people that were chatting left.
Well, I mean, even Chris is on there. Chris hasn't posted it all today. Nothing.
Chris posts every day actually. And I haven't heard from Matt.
He hasn't put any
in a while. Matthew Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's almost nothing today at all.
But if you ask me, I think it's really weird how Charles put up saying yeah, whatever, we'll survive, we'll wish them the best. That's really odd. Just the fact that your best DMs have just pieced out, 3 of them were DMs. And actually, I count myself as an unofficial.
Right. Well, and that's, I mean, all the games that have been run in the last month or so have been those 3 guys.
Right. Other than the stupid ass game from Chris that no one went to, and Charles has his games up and no one goes there, and he's like, do I need to reschedule this? No, dude, you need to cancel it. That's the issue.
I don't know. I don't know. The UAG. It was fun. Had a good time, and then I don't know what happened.
Well, then Chaos Magic happened and everything was being abandoned and everything went to shit basically.
Well, and my thing is that, so, Charles posted the Chaos Magic table. Mm-hmm. And I think that if he had posted that earlier, there would have been less problem with it, I guess.
The Chaos Magic should have gotten rid of 2 months into it. Latest.
Yeah.
Because
that would have been, yeah, it's crazy. And he's like, oh, well, it isn't that bad. Well, it's not that bad if you're a level 5, level 6, maybe level 8. But as a level 2 caster, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You know, a pack of wolves shows up, you know, 6 CR 1/2 wolves, you're fucked. You're screwed, man.
Yeah.
You know, a low-level tier 1 party? No.
And the whole concept,
Time
like,
to reroll character.
yeah. The whole concept didn't work out in my mind, really, like, with Pincus actually leading the UAG, but no one actually played Pincus, and he did not lead it. He just owned it, sort of. So there was, like, no real...
Right.
Like, and the whole shit was happening in the city of Illumina. Like, why is no one else doing something? Why is Illumina still, like, so unimportant and a little shitty when, like, all the fucking people that hoard the money or are the major battle people, like, why is this still, like, such a tiny-ass town, you know? I mean...
Well, and that was part of the reason for me wanting to build the school there was, you know, if you look at it, once you put in, once you start teaching people how to do skills, then they open up a shop for that thing.
Yeah.
So, you teach a guy how to weld, and then he's going to, you know, open up a fabrication shop.
Yeah.
Where he's going to start working as a welder. So, hey, surprise, you know, if you have an influx of every different skill, now people are going to have to come in because where's armor being produced? Where's cloth being produced?
Have you ever looked at the map of Illumina and the stores that they have?
I have a couple.
There's about 200 stores, just stores with like textiles, herbs, and what kind of shit, you know? I mean, I have never met like an important NPC there. Like the only NPC that I have ever like interacted with was either Pincus or the dude that is in the medical wing of the guild hall, whatever.
Right.
And that's about it. Like, and otherwise, like the orphanage from Oral and Felicia. Right. But still, I mean, I don't know. This whole shitty city went to shit basically, and I don't understand why it didn't progress and why like the UAG with that many active characters at that time, why they didn't expand throughout the world, because all the shit that happened in the end happened on another plane, right? So it didn't have an impact on the plane that we were in. Next of all,
you know, every time the maze was in another plane, so we didn't have to worry about chaos magic. You know, most of the Jubei stuff in another plane, so that they didn't have to mess with chaos magic.
Well, the chaos magic was like happily like spreading out in our like world. I mean, technically, most of our characters would have never like gone on like random missions like that on a different plane just out of boredom if they had a means to fight that chaos magic. Or like away.
Well, and that was something like Throak would have been interested in doing it, but when the chaos magic started, I think I was level 4. There's no way in hell he's not strong enough to go out and do that. And by the time he was at a position where he could have done something, I mean, everyone else had been sitting there for so long.
Yeah, just the fact on like how it was introduced to, like Charles led like a campaign for like what, half a year, just a campaign with that could not be won, that you were meant to die in to release Darzanon. That is something that you shouldn't do. That's just screwing with your players.
Yeah, it's pretty railroady. Hey bud, what are you doing? Why are you back in here? Go play. So yeah, it's kind of railroading. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. In the games that were presented, I was getting sick of the shard games because they were not really... I mean, how can you have like 6 of them be tier 3 too? Well, that kind of forces me to play my tier 3 character. Maybe I don't want to play my tier 3 character. Maybe I want to play my tier 2 character, right? And
well, and again, the problem is that, you know, if you make 3 tier 3 games, how many tier 3 characters were there at the time that they were announced? Like 3.
And then you have to make a counselor. Like you have to make another
Yeah.
character that's
And-
high level for nothing. You don't even get inspiration or something for that.
Yeah, you don't get anything out of it. I don't know.
I mean, that is part of like why you play too. You want like your character, like that's why I play D&D, not like to help the city. I want to play like my character to advance the character, and the story, and the
Right.
well, whatever, you know, and the experience. I don't know. I don't know. It went all to shit, and the quality of the games decreased a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
if this world hadn't been that firmly preset, I mean, I'm a DM too. Now I am, and I could have been a DM for the UAG, you know. But I
Right.
specifically didn't want to because this world was already so much set in stone that there's people like Matt or whatever that tell me, no, you can't do that because this and that. I'm like, I'm the DM. But I really didn't want to
Yeah,
go.
again.
You know, I really didn't want to go and have like this conversation though with people that simply knew the world better than I did.
Well, see, and that's why when I DM'd that game, I didn't even mess around. I immediately left Arrowwood and Illumina because I didn't want to have to mess with it. I knew I could go to one of the planes of hell. I could do my own thing there, and you know.
And you were so surprised how like Remus bashed them away. What is this damage?
I mean, that was just crazy. It was amazing. Like you just blasted through it. And I'm like, so I had sat there and while you're blasting through it, I'm like, realistically, how many people could he have banishing these guys back to their home plane of existence? And I'm trying to do the numbers. I'm like, fuck, they've got to be running out. They've got to be at least running low. No, it went so fast. And if we had gone through it a little bit faster, I probably would have said something to the effect of, fuck it, let's see if you guys can handle some devils.
We did fight a pit fiend.
Really?
Yeah, we did fight a pit fiend though.
Oh man. That was so fast.
Yep. And I'm so happy he's got 3 attacks now with action searches, like 6 attacks. It's like fucking.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Hey.
Good. So fat right now.
Don't worry about it. We can't see it.
Thank
God.
God.
I mean, around the face.
Yeah, we're focusing on the faces. That's why people have beards.
Yeah.
No, you don't need to groom yourself. No, very good.
That's why we don't shave. We all have baby faces.
My beard's coming in fairly well this year. Like it was kind of fuzzy last year where the hairs were just sticking out. But it's kind of it's laying much more flat this year. I'm liking it.
Well, all right then.
So you guys remember where you are?
I think I'm set.
Yeah,
we were getting ready.
I'm in my kitchen.
We just got inside the Golden Brick. We're trying to figure out how to get into the space since it's much smaller on the inside than it is on the outside.
And you wanted to figure out how to proceed with this.
Yep. Okay.
Did you figure that out?
I'm playing as Dave, so no, I don't know shit.
But you're so smart, Dave.
So I would say that the first thing Leoris would do was start investigating the walls and seeing if they can just see a hidden passage. Place where the bookshelves don't come in real well or whatever it is, you know.
I'll investigate the floor because I've done that before, and I know what pressure plates are.
Okay. So roll me your investigation checks.
Oh, fuck.
Listen,
Oh, God. I don't even remember what my. It really doesn't matter, but I'm trying to see what my modifier is on that investigation check that I did so well on. 6. Boom! I know everything about it.
You're looking at your shoes. Yep, they're tied.
Look at that. That's a wall right there.
Well, will you look at this wall?
All right, so you're floating around looking at the floor.
Oh.
Oh, God. So you're looking at the floor, and you are flying along the wall, and there's a shelf. Like, the shelves come in like this, and then this is the bottom shelf, and then the other shelves come in and attach this way. You're looking at the floor, so you don't really notice that gap or what would be substantial about it. But as you're flying near that middle piece on the ground, you do notice that there is like some sort of breeze coming in through the wall. It's a bit of a foul smell.
Can I investigate that particular spot?
Yeah.
Do you want me to roll another check?
No. Now that you know that there's something there, you just start searching around it, and you do realize that this is a hidden wall. You just don't know where the mechanism would be.
Well, then I'm gonna.
So, while you're finding that, Leoris is looking at the outside wall. So, like the wall we came through where the door is, he's checking that wall for hidden passages and stuff. The wall that connects to the outside of the. It's really obvious that there's nothing there, but damn it, Leoris is being thorough and checking that wall right there.
Yeah, so you're like, maybe there is something behind these shutters, and it's a window that shows the other store. He's like, damn it.
So close.
Windows.
So, Dave, Leoris, maybe you want to come over here because I think it smells really nasty here, and I think there's something hidden behind this wall. But I'm not quite sure. It's somewhere around here, and there must be like some sort of mechanism to it. I'm pretty sure. I've seen this before.
Okay. So
I can take care of that odor for you. Give me just 1 second. He's going to cast prestidigitation to make the air smell fruity and get rid of the foul odor. There you go. Now you can't smell it anymore.
I never thought I was going to say this, but that was a little bit stupid.
What? You said it smelled bad.
Yeah, it smelled bad because there's something behind it, I think, that might be rotting or something, but now it just smells good, and that changes the whole situation.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were complaining about the odor. I was trying to fix it.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. I can. Well, I kind of actually wanted you to help me find the mechanism, not turn like the air into something that smells better, but that's totally fine. You did good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. So I can help you investigate?
Yes, mechanism.
Mechanism.
Yes.
Finding mechanism.
Mechanism.
Finding a
mechanism.
Do you know what it looks like?
I don't know.
roll investigation.
Oh. Investigating. Why don't I just assist her?
What? Are you assisting me?
I'm going to assist you.
Okay.
Basically, his assistance is going to include pointing out things that are obviously not mechanisms.
Thank God that you're assisting me, because my first roll was a natural 1, and my second roll is a 25.
Hells yeah. That's the kind of assistance I give.
Yep.
What about that lamp? Could it be the lamp? Could that be the mechanism?
So yeah, you're looking at this lamp. It seems actually pretty typical, but considering all the other objects around it in the current environment, it actually looks too clean and stands out a little bit. You go up to it, and well, being a sprite, you kind of push it around, and lamps aren't this heavy, and when you push on it, it doesn't budge very much, and it's really cold to the touch. So you think it's actually made of metal, and looking further at it, it is actually solid. The little lamp, like the cover for it, is actually made of metal.
It's
So
made
you're
of
pushing
what?
this thing around, and it's a solid metal lamp that seems not incredibly out of place, but seems too clean for the rest of the environment.
So do we activate the mechanism, or do I find the mechanism with the 25 on the lamp?
You do. You think it's the lamp, but you're too small to actually operate it. It's too heavy.
God damn it. Players or Dave, can someone come here because I think I found it.
Wasn't it? I'm the smartest. Yeah.
Up top.
Okay.
Oh no.
Go ahead and activate it. What do you have to do to activate
Are you
it?
gonna high five me? Because otherwise I'm just gonna stand there with my hand up.
And think if I high five you, I'm gonna break you. How about a pinky?
That's fine. So can you go ahead and activate this lamp? Because I think that's the lamp. Lamp is what it is.
Okay, go ahead and activate it.
Do it.
What am I supposed to do?
I don't know. What is he supposed to do? Like, just turn it on? Like,
Dave just
what
walks
kind
over
of lamp is that?
He just grabs onto it and tilts it this way, and the door starts opening.
Sure, the guy that hasn't investigated in fucking ages just comes and says, yeah, sure, let's do this, and that's the mechanism.
He says, well, you already tried moving it. And it's solid metal. There's no, click or anything. So he's just like, there's no way to turn it on. He, reaches to, the lamp door and tries to pull it open and it just won't move. So I just stopped pulling.
I'm glad we brought Dave with us.
See,
we might have been here for a while.
This is why we always bring Dave, but mainly because of his satchel.
I feel such a valued member of the party. So the door swings open, and it's got long, curved bars like this that just kind of push it open. And it's actually dark down below.
I'm gonna have my dancing lights go ahead. That pop up.
So as you're kind of pushing the lights down the stairs to light the way, you do actually notice that there's this kind of weird, fading, they waver a bit as they kind of break through the threshold of from the stairs to the basement.
Can I make an Arcana check to see if there's some sort of field?
Yeah, make me an Arcana or History check. Either one will work.
That is 24 Arcana.
Oh, that'll definitely work. So
+7.
So you are sorry. So you're looking at this kind of waiver, and you're realizing like there's no way that they could just teleport a building just spontaneously in this place. There's got to be a certain amount of the building that is still back in its home plane. It's just the front of the building that is here. So the waiver is nothing too significant to the adventure, but it is a kind of mark that the city itself does have powerful magics reinforcing it. So the building is in what you think two places at once, and this is just one way to get in.
So, and we can only perceive what happens in one place.
Yeah, the city, the part of the building that you are in now, you think it's in another place. So the other location is probably in its home world right now, and the basement is once you step through this threshold, you figure that you might be entering their realm, at least for a temporary time, as you obviously have to come back up.
But would I know that I could come back up, or would that just disappear?
You would be able to come back up.
So I would tell that to Dave and Laris. Like, I think this building is like in, you know how the Adventurous Nexus is in this one plane, and Shanus, for instance, is in another world, and how there's these portals. I think this house exists like in two places at once, but I'm not sure in this part, like the basement here, is in another world. It's really, really odd. I really can't explain how or why, but that's what it seems to be.
All right. Should be doable.
Should we check for traps down the hallway in the basement? We do have
no.
the blue charms.
Well, in order to do that, I figure we would have to enter the plane. Otherwise, we'll just get no result on our end of the plane. Right?
Good point.
Do I have to make an intelligence check for that?
No. You kind of already know that it will send you back.
No, that was not my point. I said, like when we like ring the bells to find traps, that would only like mark traps on our side, on our plane of existence. In order to find traps, like when we descend, we should probably be like in that other plane. Otherwise, it won't detect jack shit.
You think that if there was there is a portal that stretches to their world, that the magic would affect anything on the other side.
Okay.
The best way to describe it is kind of like you're affected by a gate spell. So it opens a portal that you can actually see onto the other side of, and anything that you throw on that side will affect its side, and anything that it throws at you will affect you. So it's basically just as if you were walking through any other area, except...
Is there anything else of interest in the room that we entered?
No. The shop that is in the Adventurers Nexus seems to be pretty outdated. It doesn't seem to be well taken care of.
Well, then she claps in her hands. She's like, well, we don't have any other way to go. And the shop in the first place looks like we've seen everything in there. So I'll just go first. And she flies in with her dancing lights before.
Okay. So you're flying...
down.
Yeah. So you're flying down. Dave is walking behind you. You're searching for traps?
Yep.
Roll investigation.
Is Dave like looking around as well? Or not?
I mean...
Does he have, like, what is he doing? Is he like trying to perceive something? Is he trying to be useful? 21.
While he's...
I'm sorry, what are we doing?
We're descending into the basement. And you're alone on the other side again.
Basically, he's looking out for danger. He's not doing what you're doing and flying around near the floor. He's
Okay.
looking for trouble.
Okay, that's good. At least he's doing something. Good job, Dave.
Yeah, this is going to be a scenario that Dave is not going to excel in.
You're alone on the other
Lior
side.
is gonna, it is much creepier being alone on the other side than it is to be afraid to go through the gate. And I will go through the gate where I am not alone, and there's a greater chance that someone else will die instead of me.
That is really a cowardly way to look at it. But okay.
I have no idea what you're talking about. It seems like the safe way to look at it.
Fair enough.
So
21 investigation.
So you guys go through the kind of wavering area, and as you go through, you are looking for traps, and at the bottom of the stairs, you do spot a panel at the bottom. It seems to be triggered by weight, so you could probably walk on it, but the other two probably couldn't.
Like a pressure plate.
Yeah.
Oh, she would definitely point that out and have like her dancing lights exactly on this panel. She says, do not go on there because I think this is a pressure plate. Like, Dave.
Before you get too crazy with the warnings, as everyone comes through, you guys notice that this area is a lot brighter suddenly, and you do start hearing voices up the stairs, and light is coming through the secret passage.
Like as in from the other plane?
Yeah. So your estimation would be is that you've traveled to the original location, and now you're in another dimension. So,
and the way back is because there's people up there.
If you were to go, like right now, you go back there and you stick your head out, just past it, it goes dark again, and you can see the old building. So when you stick your head back down, you see that this building is actually taken care of in its home plane, and all the and you can hear people talking over there and voices.
Oh, no. She says, and she casts Mage Armor on herself.
Okay. It's just Dave
This
is going
trouble.
down.
This is trouble. I don't want trouble. Don't want to be hurt.
He says, just relax. What did you find?
There's this step that you should not step on, like that we saw in the basement with the rat. You should not step on that. I think that is a trap.
Oh. Can you disarm it? It's kind of in the way.
Can you not step over it?
With the amount of space that you've highlighted, it would be very difficult for him to jump over. Plus, it would be really loud since he's in half plate.
What does disarming traps go on? Intelligence?
It depends on the nature of it, but this one would call for dexterity. Yeah.
Well, I can try.
Do you have thieves' tools?
No.
So it's just your dexterity.
Yes.
Why don't we use the tool, the
bell?
The bell.
Well, we can definitely like the blue one finds them and disarms them too. But I mean, if we could disarm it ourselves, wouldn't that be a waste?
It would. But then you don't run the risk of setting the thing off.
What did you want to say?
Nothing. Keep going. What'd you roll?
I didn't yet.
Oh. Well.
So do you want to use the bell? Because otherwise I'll just give it a try and see what I can do with this step.
It's up to you.
Dave.
You're the one disarming it. I'm going to stay here behind Dave.
Dave, Should I do this or should we use the bell?
Says we really need to keep our voices down. But yeah, just make the attempt.
Dave, should I do that? Okay. Okay, I'll do that. I want to go home. Can we just use a bell?
Did you just roll a 1?
Maybe.
Oh man.
So what'd you roll?
If I said it's not a 1, would you believe me?
Yeah. What's your total?
5.
Okay. So wait till Throwback gets back.
Why? Why? I fucking had something that could just fucking disarm it. Stupid. Stop being so happy about this.
Well, Dave might be useful after all.
No, we don't want Dave to die. Oh man, how would I tell Spriggs that? Yeah, Dave died. This is our room now.
This is our domain. I did it.
It was an accident. I think I'm gonna get cookies. I'll be right back.
Okay.
So, is someone going to die?
No.
Oh man. Do I get a saving throw or something, please? No, I just take damage to the face. That's fine too. Fuck.
My trailer hitch doesn't hook up very well, so wife needed me to make sure that it was secure. But you rolled a 1, huh?
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that. That. Sorry.
Sounds like she rolled a 1 in real life.
I almost did. I almost did. I almost did, but I caught them.
All right, so your spriteling companion, being bold and adventurous, decides she's going to attempt to disarm this thing without any tools or anything.
Well, you kind of like told me to go too, so it's not all me, okay?
You said make an attempt.
This is what I do.
So you squeeze under the plate, and
no.
you start getting it. You start working the mechanism, and I'll say, yeah, you disarm the plate, but when you break the one mechanism, it shifts down and just kind of slides shut, and you're like, wait, uh-oh.
You're trapping me there? You're burying me there alive? What the fuck?
Dave's like, Lily?
I think at that point I have to make some sort of save to not freak out. That's what I would do. Because being trapped in a short room, like in a tiny room, I think that asks for a save, whichever it is.
I mean, if you want your character to be claustrophobic.
Well, I don't know. And I would make that dependent on a save.
Leoris is heavy. Leoris for you. Oh my god.
Well, yeah,
oh my god,
I
she's
am
caught in
too.
there. Oh my god. Oh my god, she's caught in there. Oh my god. Oh, she's never getting out. Oh,
What
she's
is-
never gonna get out. Oh my god.
That would be wisdom, right? A will save?
I'll say it's a
Yeah, probably.
charisma. I'll say it's a charisma save.
A charisma save?
Yeah.
8.
So you become frightened. You're freaking out. You don't
I
like
bang
the
against
decision.
I bang against like the top and the sides of this step that I'm caught underneath.
All right. So he's
Oh my
gonna
God,
reach
Dave.
down and try to
Dave,
pick
what are
up
we
the
gonna do?
plate.
What?
So
Dave,
after a couple tries, he manages to open it a crack.
Can I fly out?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That was so terrifying. I was caught in there. Okay, finally I can breathe
dear.
again.
Oh, dear
Oh my
Lord.
god!
You
Oh
almost
my
died.
god! This
You
feels so
almost died.
good. Oh yeah,
Are
I
you
did.
okay?
Oh my god! This is like
Did
the
you
most horrible day in my entire life. I have never felt that scared before.
Shut up, both of you. And he's kind of he looks up the stairs, and you realize that the upstairs is gone quiet too.
She'll fly into the satchel and hyperventilate.
So you guys are sitting there, and you hear somebody say, "Did you hear something?" And you hear another, like it's a long silence. And you two are just standing there, and sitting on the stairs, and you hear him say, "Nah, that's nothing. What were we doing?" And you hear them conversing again. Dave just like lets out a sigh of relief as he starts walking down the steps again.
Well, my character is now
Dave.
claustrophobic.
You know,
No, go up. Don't.
maybe you should. Maybe Lily shouldn't adventure with Leoris anymore, because now she's afraid of portals. She has claustrophobia.
I mean, if that's a character flaw you want to give yourself, go ahead. Write down claustrophobic.
Poor Lily.
I'll say
Well,
the
only-
DC is 13.
Only if she can't, like, leave a space. Like, the satchel is not a problem, since she can enter and leave freely.
Yeah, she's trapped in an enclosed space. She has to make a wisdom save 13 versus 13. Every time she fails it, she becomes frightened of the space.
Great.
Did it to yourself.
I'm sorry to say. I'm ruining your character for you.
I'm pretty sure she will get like one or the other perks too, so it's fine.
So you guys are walking along. Since she's hiding in her hidey hole, Dave has to look for traps and other things.
She'll be there
Lyris
only
can
for
look
a
too.
minute. She'll be in there only for a minute or two to calm down, and then she'll continue looking for traps. Or you guys could give her a fucking break, like a minute.
All right, so Lyris, what do you get?
Oh, perception or investigation?
Investigation. It's without
17.
her dancing lights, it's a little dark. So
Oh,
You
he's
walk-
got dark vision though, but yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of peering around. Dave can't really see too well, so you can tell he's just kind of walking beside you, paying attention to where you walk, so he doesn't run into you. And you're watching the floor, looking around at the walls and stuff, and you do see this kind of out of place board. You look at it, and it doesn't look like it's a trap, but it is a loose board that, or at least what appears loose, and it's out of place.
Hey, Lily, do you have dark vision? Can you see in the dark very well?
Actually, I can. I can, and I also have those, and like those dancing lights appear again around her. What do you need?
Can you see if maybe you can put the dancing lights underneath the board and maybe we can see under there and see if that's a trap or if it's just a squeaky board? I don't think we want to step on that.
Sure. And she motions like with her arms and like sends them off like, go, 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 go. You can do it. Talking to the lights as if they were sentient.
Okay, so the lights kind of flutter into the spaces between the cracks, and one of the bigger lights has difficulty squeezing through, but it does so. And
There you go.
you're looking inside, and you do notice some strange substances inside.
Can I
Looks
see the
like
color?
yeah. So you can see the vials, and looking at them, you see that one of them is kind of this sludgy green substance. It could be a poison, but you're not entirely sure. And you do see this kind of red potion. It looks like a healing potion, but it's also kind of sludgy.
Is it normal size? Probably.
Yeah, it's just a standard vial. So this is stuff that you would see a healing potion in or an alchemist flask in.
Could I grab it? I can carry 7.5 pounds without
Yeah.
being encumbered.
You can grab them both if you want to.
And can I touch them? Can I squeeze in there and take them out?
You'd have to lift the board a bit, but you could.
Maybe a Layoris could lift that. And
Sure.
can I
I'll give it a go.
look at the potions and can I like grab them without touching the green goo?
They're both in the sludge. There's only two potions. One is green that is sludgy, and then the other one is red. That is
Sludgy
also
means
sludgy.
covered in goo.
No, it's like the liquid inside is like a jello.
Oh, well
Like
then I
butter.
can just grab them and fly out of there.
Yeah.
So, Layoris, can you please lift this board? There's potions in there, and I really don't know what they are. I can't really see. One might be a health potion. Can you lift this board and I'll just go grab them?
Sure. Nothing
Okay.
bad could happen, right?
Nope. Swear to God, if I get trapped again, I'm gonna lose it. And she like kind of disappears inside, like mumbling to herself.
You want me to roll something?
No, it's very easy to lift just a couple inches.
Well, she flies inside with her dancing lights and makes sure that she doesn't touch anything and she avoids like all the spiders in there. And then she flies back with the potions.
Okay. There is nothing else in there with them, so you just find these two potions in there.
So does it look like a 2-part concoction that, when we step on the board, it would break the vials and make them contact each other?
No, there's no way that
Would
this
that be
was a trap. This was
okay.
If you had stepped on the board, it might have squeaked a little bit, but it wouldn't have crushed the vials.
I'm pretty sure this is what the
Got
teacher was talking about. They're unlabeled, right? And he said like unlabeled stuff that looks suspicious, which this was because it was hidden, right? I think we should just take this and
Yes.
put it in Dave's satchel. Right,
Hey,
Dave?
there we go. Why don't we let's put the green one in Dave's satchel, and I'll take the red one, just in case.
Okay.
All right. And she like gives you the potions.
This is what he was referring to, right? Like, this gives us enough that they can do a real investigation, and we can get the hell out of here and not get dead.
Mm.
Well,
So you
no.
said
There's a certain substance that we have to find in here that's supposed to be some sort of recreational drug. These
Which,
are unlabeled.
Damn it.
which consistency does it have? Like, is it like a pill? Is it a herb? What is that? Is it a liquid, the drug that we're looking for? I mean, it should say in the Warren thing.
Well, all I know is that the substance is supposed to be well documented.
Okay.
So I mean,
Well-
even if we don't find it, if we find enough of these, I'm sure it'll make a difference.
All right. So make sure you don't lose it. And we should probably go forward.
Yes.
Do you want some more investigation checks?
No. You guys eventually come to a door.
Is it locked?
You can check.
No, Jack.
Okay, so
Is there a handle that I can pull?
yeah, you pull on the handle, and it actually doesn't feel locked. It sounds like it's actually barred closed.
Maybe I'm not strong enough.
Red. Let's just hit it with the red bell.
Okay.
But I think this door isn't locked. That's just barred from the other side. So if you ring this bell, then it would still be unlocked and we still couldn't like go through it because it would still be barred.
Do you want to roll an Arcana check on it?
Yeah, sure.
Heck yeah.
11.
I got hold on. I got a 18.
That's good enough. So you're looking at this bell and you're remembering what the Rax Shasa told you about it, and it sounds similar to that of the knock spell. It could potentially be used to remove the bar side. Though, if you remember the knock spell correctly, it also makes a really loud noise.
All right, so as it's kind of like the knock spell, but I don't know if it's going to make a loud noise or not. But maybe if we muffle the bell a little bit, that will keep it from making a loud noise.
Or we can just try breaking the bars behind it by breaking the door.
Because that
Dave.
won't make any noise at all.
Well, it will be quieter than the knock spell noise.
I'll be honest, I don't remember how loud the knock spell noise is.
300 feet.
It's loud. It's basically like casting a thunder spell.
Yep. It's fucking super loud.
Nice.
So basically, like, throwing yourself against that door is probably quieter than freaking the knock spell.
Well, Dave says, well, stand back then. He pulls out his greatsword. And he's actually going to just destroy the door. It splinters enough for him to actually just tear it down with his hands. And it's loud. How loud will it be? Loud enough that the voices above stop talking again.
I will go and hide.
Okay. Dave says, oh, that's not good. And he's like, wait, well, I'm already here. And he just he lifts the bar on the other side, which is just this large wooden bar. And he puts it over, steps over what's left of the door. And he starts looking around the office, and he tries to hide behind some barrels in there. Emphasis on try.
I'm gonna fly actually out towards where the voices are coming from or are going to come from, probably from the stairs, and that's where I'm gonna hide. So probably like 30 to 40 feet away from my party.
Roll me a stealth.
I did.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hold an action. What?
Leoris?
Leoris is going to start looking for the because the door has been cut down. They know somebody's down here. He's going to try and get the book done. Maybe we can just kind of try and slip out of here.
Okay. You do notice a lot of notes, and a lot of it is alchemic jargon. Roll me, just roll me an investigation check. It's a pretty simple one.
Okay. Sweet. That's a 20, 30.
Okay, so you are looking for the notes, and as you're looking for the notes, you're kind of noticing that Dave is definitely not one for stealth, as he kind of tries to hide behind some barrels, but he ends up knocking some of the barrels over, and it's really loud.
Dave, you're failing at the stealth thing.
He says, I'm not very good at it, okay?
You're failing miserably.
He says, fine. And he just stands up, and he pulls out his greatsword and just stands out in the open. Or
just kind of
open,
hide behind the doorway there, and anybody who isn't through there, just bash them with the big hunk of metal you've got.
He's like, right. So you're looking for this recreational drug notes. And you do actually find some sort of notes, though in the book it's not described as recreational, more as performance enhancing.
Oh, yeah.
So you are looking at it, and it's basically this purple powder. And when it's inhaled, it makes you... This seems to speed up how much information you can process. It's good for wannabe wizards that are trying to study and trying to cram information.
That's cocaine right there.
Does it also cause heart attacks?
No. Though, what it does do is that basically whoever consumes it, it starts draining their arcane energy. So for every hour that you're affected by it, it starts taking away a spell slot. And then if you continue to take it and run out of spell slots, you basically get afflicted with what is described in the book as mage's burnout. And
Yowza.
basically, in order to recover from it, it takes 2 weeks to recover, and it basically numbs the mind. Mages who seem to be affected by it are seemingly have huge difficulties studying and can't concentrate on their spells.
Okay, that's good to know. So I gather up all those notes and put them in my bag.
Can I hold an
there
action
any of the
while this
powder?
is happening?
Yeah, so you grab the notes once you figure out what you're reading, and some of the substance is actually there in a small pouch.
I'll grab that pouch.
I'll just say a few things here about it. It doesn't affect anyone that doesn't have spell slots, so it only affects casters of any kind, including half casters and eldritch knights and stuff like that. And what usually causes the addiction is that once the body suffers from the burnout, it usually craves more to compensate for the kind of memory loss that it's suffering. And so they consume it, it's more of a conscious thing. It's more they want to consume it to try to fix their spells, like their magical issue. But it ends up just reinforcing the
making
disease.
it worse.
Yeah. People have died from mage's burnout, and basically it gets to a point where they become so numb that their brain just turns off. And in the worst circumstances, it has actually just destroyed people's souls.
Don't do drugs,
No
kids.
bueno.
Not even in a magical fantasy world.
Mickey Avalon was wrong. Don't do drugs at all, not just without me.
So as you are kind of picking up notes, putting them in your backpack or satchel or whatever you use, Lily, they are going to start coming down the steps.
Yep, I'm holding the sleep spell.
Okay, so the guy walks in front of you. He is not holding a lamp or anything. He's looking over, and he's like, and you can hear kind of noises from like Dave, and they're very slight noises from Dave and Leoris. But when the guy is listening, he doesn't actually seem to notice the noises that they're making, and he peers in the darkness, and you see him really concentrating, and he's like, I don't see anything over there. Huh. He then goes over, looks at the pressure plate, and he says, damn thing's busted again. I'll fix it after I'm done with my customers. And he starts stepping back up the stairs. He rolled a 1 on the perception check.
Nice.
You didn't notice shit.
That was just one person, right?
Yeah, just one person came down. It seems to be the shopkeeper at the time.
Well, there goes my spell slot.
I mean, you can cast it regardless.
Yeah, no, but he has customers up there, and I'm smarter than that.
All right.
Nice try, though.
So it seems you have what you're looking for.
How about any dangerous weapons? Since we're not, since I'm still waiting for Dave's big hunk of metal.
He's been waiting for you, waiting for you.
Lily flies back to you guys.
Right.
And she says, I think the guy that just came downstairs, to us, he just turned around again. I think he did notice. He said it was nothing, so I think he's deaf because you were making a hell of a noise.
Dave's like, yeah. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Did you find anything? Did you find anything?
I found notes and some paper and some powder. Sorry.
Powder.
The drug stuff.
Oh, that's what we came for, right?
Yep. I figured since we're doing okay, we should try and see if we can find any of those dangerous weapons.
Oh yeah, right. The teacher said
Hit the
that.
trifecta.
Because we already have the potion thingies. And
Yep.
yeah, let's see if we find something here. Do you want
Okay.
an investigation?
I mean, you guys can see the room pretty well, I think, the two of you. So
yeah.
you guys are looking around, and you do see some well-crafted metal spears on the side of the wall. They kind of look like tridents, but the middle prong sticks out further than the other two. So it's more of a spear than actual trident. It has some wicked-looking designs to it.
Is there a really mundane looking, not relevant weapon lying around?
I mean, that's the only weapon that really stands out.
I'll grab that one and bring it with us. I don't know for sure that it's anything that we're supposed to be getting, but yeah, it can't hurt to turn it in. Maybe investigate it? Should Arcana it? Does it look like it could be magically
Well, I can identify it.
magicalicious?
Well, by looking at it, it has a wicked design. It looks scary, to say the very least. Most people would probably be nervous about using such a weapon.
Why?
It's just intimidating to look at.
And it's a spear?
It looks like a trident, but it looks like it functions more like a spear.
Is there blood in it?
No.
Is there rust in it?
No. It's just this blackened metal.
Well, let's take that. That looks pretty dangerous.
All right.
Yeah, I'll grab that. He's got his sharpened hunk of metal. I'll take this.
Okay.
Oh man, the teacher is going to be really mad if that's not the thing that we are supposed to take, because he said we should definitely not take anything that doesn't match the description. And I really don't want him to think that we're stealing things here.
All right.
If it's not what he's looking for him, and he can return it.
Roll me a wisdom save.
Who?
That's an excellent idea.
Who?
I picked it
light
up,
arts.
so I assume it's me. Okay, so that's 9 plus my modifier is wisdom plus 3. 12 is an excellent number. Just beat the
Just
hell
fail.
out of that DC right there.
All right. So you pick up the weapon, and it sears into your hand, and all you hear in your head, the first thing you hear in your head is, "Kill them!"
Oh, great. It's cursed. What is good news?
So do I in fact want to kill them, or did I pass the save?
You pass the save. You just hear the voice.
Oh, thank goodness. Excellent.
Do I, in fact,
Kinda worried
want to
about
kill
that.
them? Like, aside from the fact that I really want to kill them, do I really want to kill
Do I want to kill them?
them?
The spear talked to me. It wants me to kill you. So
That's
yeah, I think this is
rude.
one of those dangerous things that I wholeheartedly agree, and in fact am kind of afraid of the spear now. Can we get out of here, please? Now, quickly.
Oh, yeah. Can you put the spear down again?
I don't think it's a good idea. I'm just gonna, because I'm afraid that if I put it down and try and pick it back up, that it'll try and have me kill you.
Oh, but I was just wondering whether you could actually let go of it again, because I read of like some sort of weapons that, or things that you touch that like kind of have their own mind or occurs that they'll just attach to you and you'll have a hard time getting rid of those. So I was just wondering whether you could drop.
That seems like a problem that we'll have. Let's get the hell out of here before something else bad happens.
So my other question is, if we head back there, there's going to be a shopkeeper and he has currently customers. And if you're going to go out with this thing out there, that's definitely going to be hostile. How are we going to do that?
Well, no, that's at the top of the stairs in this world, but in the top of the stairs in the other world, there isn't a shopkeeper, right?
Oh, is that how it works? I don't know how this works.
I think so. I'm guessing. And worst
That
comes to
makes
worse, if a fight starts, we just run out of the building, and the giant thing is going to be right there, and we'll be able to.
It's a dragon.
Well,
It's not a
big
thing.
thing that wanted to eat me. But
Well, you didn't want to eat.
But it wanted to eat me.
No, it didn't.
I don't know. He looked kind of hungry.
No, he did not.
That's how dragons live for so long, is they eat elves.
No, he looked pretty.
Dave.
Well,
is just
I mean, he
looking
looked
at the
pretty,
two of
but-
you, and he says, "Can we leave now?"
Lots of things look pretty. Snakes, big poisonous snakes,
Agreed.
very pretty.
Yes.
Let's get out of here.
Okay.
So, you guys head towards the stairs. There's essentially nothing left of this building. You start climbing up the stairs, and the shopkeeper looks over, and you guys, as you guys go through the portal, as he's looking over, and he's like, "Huh?" And he's like, "Tonight has been weird." And he closes the door back to his customers.
What did you roll? Did you roll?
No, I'm just concluding that part of the adventure. Well, pretty much concluding the adventure. The rest is pretty much just storytelling and roleplay now. So you climb up the steps, and you get to the main room in the Adventurers Nexus, and you see 3 guards standing there, not Nexus guards, but store guards, They actually just kind of look like typical thugs, and you do see what looks like a horned devil standing in the center of the room. He's wearing a very fancy outfit. It doesn't
What
look
is a
like
horned
he's
devil?
basically it's a fiend, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Oh, I got it. I found a picture. I'm sorry. That is intimidating. Okay.
and he says, "Now look at what rats we have here, breaking into my property."
At when he says rat, Leoris is going to jump and point the spear at the ground towards like behind him, like there's a rat that's going to get. Ah! Kind of
I'm
point
actually looking for
spear,
rats
like,
too.
He says, "To think that my security would be found out by these idiots." He says, "You three, kill them." And that's when things go suddenly pitch dark. And I don't mean like you can see in the dark vision. It's like true darkness. You can't see anything in front of you.
Well, what about my dancing lights?
They vanish. They just get snuffed out.
magical darkness.
No.
And
So you hear the
as soon as the darkness hits, Leoris is going to start screaming, "I don't want to die! I don't want to die in the dark! I don't want to die in the dark!"
And basically accompanying your screams, you hear the thugs go, "What the hell's grabbing me?" And then you just hear what sounds like people getting smushed in the darkness. It sounds like something was pancaking them. And
Oh, that must be the other unfriendly person that works with the teacher.
so the darkness fades, and you guys are standing in this room just smothered with blood, and just entrails are covering the room. And the fiend is like, and
Okay,
even the
I have a
fiend is
trauma
starting-
now.
The fiend is just standing there. He's like, "What?" And you see this kind of golden eyeball stick through one of the shutters of the windows, and you hear the teacher's voice, and he says, "Yes, I should have reminded you about the other guard." And he says, "Unfortunately for you, you are under arrest, good fiend." And he says, "Well, how you suppose you're going to get in here?" And he says, "Oh, don't worry. The other one will do that for me as well." And then the true darkness consumes the room again, and you hear what sounds like scratching across the floor, and then it becomes silent, and then the light comes back on. Well, at least the typical darkness returns to you. And when you turn back the dancing lights, you just see that the room is scratched up to hell. The devil was flailing his wings as hard as he
I'm
could.
out. I'm hiding in his satchel. I'm hiding in Dave's satchel. I'm done. I don't want darkness anymore, and I don't want blood, and I'm traumatized.
So Dave, this leaves pretty much Dave and Leora sitting in this bloody massacre of a room. And he's like, "Yeah. Let's get out of here."
This is horrible. I hate this.
So
I hate all of
Dave
this.
is, for the first time, like legitimately scared. He just starts running out of the building. He's like, "Shit, fuck this." I'm assuming, Leoris, you're following him out.
Hell yeah!
So you guys run out of the building, and both of you bump into the teacher's leg. And he says, "Relax, you're safe now." as if
Lily's
Oh my
crying in his satchel.
the teacher just lowers his head. He says, "You may continue your business as normal. The man who tried to kill you there is in our custody." He says, "Do you have anything to show me?"
Yes, yes, please take this spear. It wanted me to kill my friends. I don't want it in my hands anymore, but I didn't want to try and drop it and then try and pick it back up because I might have to. Just please take this thing.
He says, "Well, okay." And you see him cast some spells. Uh, he, the one on the first spell, you see the spear just drop out of your hands and clang on the ground, and the second one just causes it to disappear.
Ugh.
He says, "Anything else?"
Stiff drink.
He says, "I meant more hidden weapons or substances that aren't well defined."
Oh, the sludge. The sludge. Just please. I don't. It looks like a healing potion, but it's kind of sludgy and nasty, and there's nothing written on it. And you said that was bad.
He says, "Let me take a look." And he looks at it and he says, "Oh, that stuff's bad." And he says, "That's the blood of an angel." And then
Of an angel, you say that sounds incredibly powerful.
he says, "Not really. For other angels, it's poisonous. For fiends, it's something that they can drink to heal their wounds. But for mortals like you, it will make you deathly ill. It can be cured, if you had drank
Exactly why I'm trying to give it to you.
yeah, if you had drank that yourself, you would be incredibly sick."
Sounds like a great reason to give it to you.
And Hila says, "Well," and they will show him the other one, and he says, "Oh, looks like he might have been planning some sort of assassination. This essentially switches the properties so that it can hurt other fiends, but it will hurt everyone else. Well, it'll just hurt fiends, heal celestials, such and such." And so he takes the 2 potions and he says, "I will send that to my other half, and I'm sure he will be, the counselors will be glad to know that we've removed this stain on our reputation. But I think it's best that you go deliver what you were meant to deliver, right?"
Absolutely.
He says, "Run along now." And the 2 of you, pretty much dazed from what just happened, just kind of shamble your way over there. And we'll just skip a little bit. So you visit the Rakshasa again, and you deliver the powder. He's a little disturbed that you showed up covered in some entrails and blood, but he's not asking any questions. He takes the journal and he says, "Yes, this is everything. This is something that we can use against him, and something that definitely breaks our protocol." And he says, "Thank you. For your rewards, I will offer you this." And he gives you guys 150 gold pieces each.
Woohoo!
It says, and I am sure that I will have more missions for the three of you in the future. But don't call me a tiger. Now run along.
No, we would never do. But bye. And for the first time yet, Leoris is the first one through the portal.
So you guys return to the Adventurers Nexus, and you tell them, well, shakily tell them about the completed mission. And he's like, what the hell happened? And Dave basically confirms what the fiend had already told you. It seemed that you had tripped to some sort of silent alarm, and he was waiting for you. And the Adventurers Nexus guards took care of them. He says, well, yeah, I wouldn't mess with that guy if I were you. He says, but definitely earns the time off. Go take care of yourselves. I'll make sure that I'll alert you to any new missions that are coming up. And he says, oh,
There's someplace where
is there someplace what?
I can find a stiff drink.
He says, well, this place doubles as a tavern and an inn, so it's actually good that you have completed your first mission and you didn't wind up dead for some strange reason. He pulls out a little token. He gives it to Leoris, and he says, feel free to trade this in and your emblem for something that suits your fancy. It can be a hat, armor, tunic, cloak, you name it. As long as it's another symbol that will kind of stick out for anyone else looking at you. It says you'll also receive this, and he gives you some keys to a room. That's he says second floor, farthest side to the left. He says lets you see the plaza pretty well. A little noisy since you're closer to the merchants, but hey, so those people usually get to know the secret deals first. So I'd say you pay attention.
Sweet.
And he says, welcome to the guild. And with that, that's pretty much the end of the adventure. You guys will gain 1 experience. Or since this is, I think, Lily's and Dave's 3rd mission, they will be level 3. And Leoris will be level 2.
Woohoo!
Right. So you go to your room. It's a fairly small building, a small area. A bed, a wardrobe, a small armor stand for your equipment. It is actually a full mannequin, not just like a dummy. And it has a foot locker, a chest inside, and a small table with 3 chairs and a lamp in the middle of the table. There's a
First
small...
things first, I move the lamp and then look around the room.
Okay.
No?
It's
Yeah.
adjacent to your room is other rooms. The walls are pretty thick, so you can almost be as loud as you can. And the other adventurers probably won't hear you, though the wall to the outside is a little thinner and especially has a window. So if you start shouting and screaming, people on the street will likely hear you. It's a pretty open place. The stairs that you went up, they actually connect to other stairs, though, and leads to higher levels of the guild, which higher level members live on. Attempting to go up the stairs will just bounce you into a wall of force that you can't pass. But you see higher level members going up there without any issue. So it seems that these emblems and tokens prevent you from going up the stairs if you're not wearing them. They also prevents you from leaving as you're kind of just standing there. You realize somebody isn't wearing their tunic or their emblem anywhere on them, and they just bump into the wall of force and they can't go down the stairs. Children. But with that, the adventure is over. So I'll thank you guys for joining me. Again, this was meant to be a simple one. There was combat potential, but I didn't want to throw anything at you guys. Not tonight, anyways.
Thank you.
Yeah, because Leoris would have run away with the spear.
With the killers, the crazy spear. That was basically a modified berserker weapon.
Yeah.
As you guys are kind of relaxing and recovering from today's events, you will a retainer from the teacher will show up and he'll give all of you an extra 50 gold each for finding the spear.
Yeah, Lily isn't relaxing.
Yeah.
She's still like in her house that she's got in the room, and she's not coming out.
Through her emotional issues.
Yeah. Yeah, the other thing that you should know about Shanus is that none of the creatures in there have blood. So this is her first time outside of some of her other adventures that she's seen extreme amounts of bloodshed.
Yeah, I'm done.
I figured Leoris was he was so messed up from being, it suddenly turned dark and then these guys exploded and then he suddenly turned dark again and this giant horned devil gets drug out and he didn't see what did it and he had flipped the switch to so terrified he wasn't reacting anymore. He'll cry himself to sleep tonight.
All right. I'm going to stop the broadcast. So thank you guys for playing.